What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live, right here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where I talk a lot about comic books, movies, and just other things going on in the world. I hope you're all having a very good day today. Here we are. It's Saturday. You know, we used to do this show every Friday night, but life happens and things, you know, my Fridays have been spent sleeping. I'm usually sleeping by the time the show would normally be on, which used to be Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I am trying to find, you know, a good time to start doing the Trailer Park Live again, even if it's kind of during the week, but, like Friday or like the weekend works a little bit better after, maybe you've had some time to relax, but who knows? I don't know. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know how you're doing down in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think. Did you go watch Cocaine Bear? Did you go watch Ant-Man Quantumania? Did you go watch... I don't know. What else has come out? What else has come out? Has anything else come out? I'm not really for sure. I know Creed. Isn't Creed 3 getting ready to come out? What's your hype level for Creed 3? I've actually heard pretty good things about Creed 3. Is that weird? I don't know. I think it seems weird. I didn't know... what's his name? Killmonger is directing it. I didn't know that. But thank you all so much for being here today. Now, in case you guys are here, you like the channel, and, you can put up with me for the last month, kind of being almost non-existent, just being busy with a bunch of things, and you do like what you see here and would like to support the channel with your hard-earned dollars, you could do so with the link down in the description of this video, or you can go to the little membership tab. There's a little thing where you can go check that out. Consider becoming one of the Myrtle Maniacs, the people you can see in the chats with the little badges next to their names. And yeah, one of the things you get, aside from getting to see my handsome face from time to time, is you actually get entered into a giveaway that I'm going to do. And I'm going to actually start doing a little bit more, probably less for some of the crowdfunding books, but some more for some other books that I have that I've been meaning and wanting. I've got extra copies of that I bought to do some giveaways for anyway for our channel members. But the next one that I have that I am getting ready to be giving away is this right here. This is La Muerta Prime Evil. This is chapter 8. Chapter 8? Yeah, chapter 8 of La Muerta here in the Coffin Comics Lady Death universe. And R.C. Scott, your book will be on the way shortly. I've just been very busy. I apologize, bro. It'll be getting to you. But yeah, this will be given away to one of our channel members here, probably within the next couple of days, actually. Probably around next week, when next week's show will be. This will be all you got to do to get entered into this is be one of our channel members. That's it. Channel member. Bam. Entered into the giveaway for that. That's all you got to do. But other than that, I mean, I've been pretty busy myself. Honestly, I almost was like thinking I was gonna have to postpone the stream tonight too. Even I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. Today was kind of a special occasion, and we were going out for a dinner and everything, and had a couple of drinks and we're coming back. I was like, oh shit! I completely forgot that we had some shit planned for today, and we had to go get it taken care of. And I was like, man, I didn't know if I was going to make it back here in time. By the time we got back here, I was feeling a little bit tired and, had a couple of drinks. Like I said, I don't drink much anymore, so I had a couple of drinks. I had some chocolate. If you don't know what I mean by chocolate, I guess you've never had some Hubby Bars. It's medicated chocolate. I had some of that, and yeah. So, I'm telling you, I was feeling pretty good. And got back to the house, and just like, yeah, I was like, because we actually made it in time. So I was like, nah. We got to do this, man, because it's been too long. It's been far too long since we've been here live together with all of you lovely people. So, one of the first things that I do want to talk about before we really get into a whole lot of stuff here is obviously, we know James Gunn has kind of taken over the DCU. And I haven't really talked a whole bunch about that. I mean, you guys know several months ago when that was all announced, I mean, I kind of boasted and bragged a little bit about how I kind of called that a couple of years ago. And I think a lot of people did. I mean, the writing was really on the wall. I mean, you know, what else? Who else were they gonna get? What else were they gonna do? What was their other options for something viable right now? There wasn't much. But as we can see, he's come out. He started to lay out his plan for everything that's gonna go on, and it sounds like he's got some great ideas. Ideas are a good thing. He's got, you know, maybe just sort of a roadmap for where they want to go, and I think that's just fine. I think you kind of need something like that. But at the same time, you know, there's one thing that can really be said about, having a plan and actually executing a plan, you know? And I don't know. I guess we'll see how things progress here as we move forward here with the DCU. But I will say they did drop that trailer for this new Flash movie. And I gotta tell you, obviously James Gunn didn't have shit to do with this movie, but they dropped that trailer at that game, and they dropped that trailer. And I gotta tell you, I watched that trailer. I'm like, damn, dude, that was a pretty damn good trailer. Even with Ezra Miller in there, and like, look, I'll tell you, Ezra Miller, I think the dude's a piece of shit. He's a piece of garbage, you know, whatever. I'm not one of those people who's completely annoyed by his face. I'm not one of those people who thinks like, that as far as I know of all the shit he's done anything that's completely reprehensible that, you know, he probably couldn't, you know, be forgiven for. As far as I know. And as far as the things that we actually know. I mean, there's plenty of things out there that he's done that I think are definitely very questionable, and some of the things that he's done I think are very terrible. And I think, you know, I mean, we don't know the whole story on all of them, and when we do, you know, maybe I'll pass all my judgments then. But until then, I think we all know the guy's a bona fide weirdo. He's done some, he's done some shit, okay? The guy's certainly no innocent person. But I wouldn't say he's quite in the Kevin Spacey space yet. You know what I mean? As far as I know, I don't know that we have any stories that Ezra Miller went to Epstein Island. Hell, for all we know, he was probably born and raised on Epstein Island. And that might be a completely different story altogether. I mean, wouldn't that change your mind altogether if you found out, like Ezra, like, oh, yeah, he was farm raised. Yeah, he was factory raised, I guess, at the Epstein. I know that's messed up. I'm kidding. Shh. But regardless of all that, the trailer came out, and that trailer looks fucking fire, right? Like, you know what? It looks like they may actually pull off and do a better job at fan service in this Flash movie than they were able to do in No Way Home. Because this movie looks like it might actually be fucking great. And could it be? Absolutely, I think this movie could be great. Are they pulling some cheap tricks and some cheap punches? Absolutely. I'm Batman, right? You got Michael Keaton in there. Obviously, we've seen Ben Affleck. We got the Supergirl in there. I mean, just like all the different. You got all the different things in there doing all this different stuff, and it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty damn cool, right? And the trailer itself, like, it actually looks pretty damn like, and you know, like, and even when I seen it, I was like, I'm one of those kind of people. I'm like, believe me, DC ain't gonna do nothing to impress me or fucking get me on board with going to go watch one of their movies anytime soon. And then I seen this trailer, I was like, fuck, maybe I was lying. I'm glad I didn't set it in stone that I wasn't going to go. Because I seen this trailer, I'm like, it looks like, but the whole thing is, I think the movie itself is probably going to be, disappointing. It's probably going to end up being disappointing. And if not, it might end up actually being pretty good. But to what end, right? That's the ultimate thing with this movie is like, to what end? And to what end, I mean, really makes you kind of think like about the only thing they really can do with this movie is fan service. I mean, like, James Gunn is coming into the DC, starting into DC Studios with their DCU, and like, is he gonna like all of a sudden be like, oh damn, like, this movie did pretty good. You know what? Maybe we're going to keep Ezra Flash and the Batfleck thing, you know, we can get rid of that, you know, we can Michael Keaton, we can't keep him for too long, you know, like they're just gonna like, I don't know, right? It would seem a little weird. Of course, it seems a little weird with a lot of shit that they're doing anyway. The way that they're starting off, right? Starting off, considering they're gonna do a whole new thing, but yet they're gonna still have ties to some of that old shit. Like, I don't know. To me, it's all confusing. I don't really know. Maybe James Gunn can get their house in order. I mean, he might be able to get it in order. I wouldn't count on anything being too great. Obviously, this Flash movie isn't nothing to do with any of the shit he's doing, but it actually looks pretty good. I think it's kind of funny, too, because what's the next one coming out? The Aquaman movie? Apparently, like, they're going to release this piece of shit, and apparently it's just that. It's a piece of shit. I don't know. That's just what I've heard from hearing some of the people out there. I don't know, man. Like, to me, it still sounds like it's going to be a long time before DC has anything fucking viable to give to audiences and present and say, hey, we've got this coming out. Would you give us some money to go watch this movie on the big screen? Now, the thing is, like, the Flash movie has some of that shit, but it is purely out of nostalgia that they're getting every single fucking penny for this movie. It's for no other reason. It's all nostalgia. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about this Flash movie. It looked pretty flashy. It looked pretty good. I mean, it looked pretty good. You know? But I don't know. Let's see what you guys think down in the comments below. I'll see we've got some people that sent in some member chats. We'll see who all we've got here, as well as everyone we've got here. I see we've got Mike Porter, Daniel Fisher, Felicity Poubelle, some of the Myrtle Maniacs, yeah! As well as William Moloch. Thank you so much for being here. Nikki. RC Scott in the building. Thank you all so much for being here. Jedi Mike. Okay, what do we have here? Star Wars MCU-OG. What is up? I hope you're all having a very good Saturday as well. Yes, to you too as well, MCU-OG. Okay. That's some long-term sympathy. That is 30 months, man. 30 months, RC Scott. I greatly appreciate that, man. Greatly appreciate that. I'll get that book sent out soon. I promise. Okay, and here we go. Felicity Poubelle says, Quantumania hurt the MCU brand. No shade if you liked it. And, you know, I'm not really going to get into all of that right now. We'll get into that. And we'll come back to some of that. But and here's the thing, is because I hear a lot. I've heard several people saying this as well, and I know when you were doing your live stream with Abby the other day, that was one of the things you were saying. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think that Quantumania hurt the brand, the Marvel Studios brand. I think that damage was already done. I think what it is the damage was already done. And the odds were stacked against Quantumania to the point where this movie almost had to be fucking, like, at least Civil War fucking hype. You know what I mean? Like, at least that kind of hype going into this movie. And I think there was plenty of people going into this movie that were pretty hyped. And I think coming out of it, you know, like, it's lost a lot of that hype and that steam. But I don't think it's that Quantumania hurt the brand. If anything, it probably hurt maybe the Kang the Conqueror brand. But as far as anything else, if anybody had that high of expectations out of this movie, said that it was going to save Marvel or anything like that, like, I think, like, probably putting a little weight, like, putting way too much onto this movie in the first place. But the fact that thinking a single movie is going to do that, let alone the Ant-Man movie or Ant-Man franchise. And even going by that, just thinking about that, to me, makes it to the point where that I don't think that the Ant-Man brand, and especially this movie, could actually hurt Marvel Studios. Because I don't think Ant-Man was one of those big main staples that is really in the position to do that. You know? Not quite like a Thor Love and Thunder, a Wakanda Forever after that, a Doctor Strange before both of those. You know? I mean, I could, like, and I'm not ragging on any of the other movies, but I mean, I think the track record over through Phase 4 is pretty abysmal. Even considering the Spider-Man movies, they're not really that great, you know? Combined all together. And that's the thing is, I think the damage, I don't think this movie hurt the brand because I think it was everything that came before it. The thing is, like, this movie could have helped. It could have helped maybe start to show that it's like the tide is turning and there's gonna be some improvement. But I don't think that this one hurt it. I think it just didn't help it whatsoever when it comes to all of that, because to me the damage was done. Like me, I told y'all when Love and Thunder, first Marvel movie, I only seen once at the movie theater. I walked out of that movie theater looking like I was fucking Chris Rock, got bitch slapped by fucking Will Smith on the goddamn whatever awards those were. That's how I walked out of the movie. And to me, like at that point, like that wasn't even the straw that broke the camel's back. That was like fucking a lot. Like that it was more than that. Because I think leading up to that, I wouldn't say that everything leading up to that was terrible. It's just different. It's not, and it didn't feel like the quality that we're used to. Though I would argue if you go and watch Shang-Chi and the Eternals, those are actually pretty fucking good movies, man. I really do enjoy them, but, and you know, and I'm not saying anybody has to agree here, and you know, obviously I'm not going to change Felicity's mind on this, on her thoughts here, but I don't think that it did hurt the MCU brand so much as not help the brand when it really fucking needed it. You know what I mean? Like, it really needed that, and it just didn't do that. But I think the damage, the hurt was done before that. And I think some of that, like, honestly, I think some of that hurt started to come with Brie Larson. And I'm not a Brie hater or anything, but I think that's when some of the cracks, like when some of the first cracks started. It went there, and then by the time you move into that, moving forward from there, obviously you get into everything into Phase 4, and it just really kind of seems like it's starting to fall apart. You had so many things coming out at once. You look at the Black Widow movie that got pushed, like, what was it, like nearly fucking 2 years? And then you see what that movie is overall, and you're kind of like, I like the movie, but even I'll watch that movie and be like, it's really not the greatest, and I can see why anybody don't like it. And this is really kind of, man, I don't know. I feel like there's just so many little things in that movie that just kind of add up to, it's all right. You know, and then you think about coming out of that. You think of coming out of that going into Shang-Chi and then the Eternals. You know, I think Shang-Chi is excellent. I think it's a very, very good movie. A lot of great things about it. But again, it's one of the ones it's not the best. I do think it's one of the better origin stories that we actually have in the MCU. But then, you know, you get into the Eternals, one that I would say a lot of people don't like. I really do like myself. I find it quite enjoyable. And now, you know, you get into that third act. I mean, it breaks down a little bit. Yeah, sure. But just all the little things that happen in there. And there's some things that I have, some more theories that I've already had that we've talked about here on the channel that we see are coming to fruition. And even more theories to come out of those. But then you think about that, you know, you come out of that movie, you go into Spider-Man No Way Home, which I would argue for the most part, all the Spider-Man movies, while connected to the MCU, I would say they're all very loosely connected. And because the spillover from those movies into the MCU is very, very little. Very, very little. And that's why, you know, a lot of people look into what Doctor Strange did and No Way Home and breaking the multiverse and everything. Like, that's probably the only thing out of that movie that's going to spill into the MCU was the fact that Doctor Strange messed with the multiverse and, you know, did that little spill. That's probably it. It's probably it. But then, like, for me, like, that's one of those movies, it's like, It's a bunch of fan service. It doesn't really do anything for the MCU. And while it is their brand, it's kind of not, you know. And you think about all the TV shows along the way too. Now, I myself, I don't hold the TV shows against them, but a lot of people do, and I think a lot of the TV shows did hurt the brand, starting with WandaVision. I know a lot of it, like as good as WandaVision is, a lot of people didn't like the boner thing and like some of that shit. Like some people like you know, that's more cracks there in that foundation that Brie Larson started for, you know, right? But, you know, thinking about the shows, then you go into, what was after that? Multiverse of Madness, which, like, look, I love Sam Raimi. I think Sam Raimi's great, and I think the movie itself is okay. It's not his best work, certainly. But, again, it just it leaves a lot to be fulfilled. It leaves a lot to be fulfilled. Then you get into, you get into Love and Thunder, and this is when the fucking plane hit the goddamn mountain. To me, that is what hurt the Marvel brand. Then you move into, after that, you get Wakanda Forever. Man, I'm probably not going to touch on Wakanda Forever too much. I actually want to drop my reviews for Wakanda Forever since I finally watched it, and Quantumania. So I don't really want to talk about those so much as we'll maybe talk about some spoilers and some other shit. Aside from my actual review of the movie. But again, I mean, I don't think it hurt the brand. I just think it didn't help it when it really needed it. But thank you so much, Felicity, for the 18-month member chat. Greatly appreciated. Let's see. You got Quantumania. You got a bear doing drugs. But the news is the revolution. Oh, the big news is the revolution. What revolution? What? What did I miss? What revolution? I live streamed. Yeah, I missed your live stream last weekend. I missed that. Yeah. I watched the revolution. What's the revolution? Creed 3, they had Creed 3. They had one good album. What? You're talking about the band Creed? Ain't nobody listen to that bullshit. Oh, man. Been here a while. Yeah, it has been a while, Mike Porter. 31 months. Yeah, man. Greatly appreciated. Mike Porter, my man. Greatly appreciated. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, shit. No, I'm not drunk. I had a few drinks and, you know, we ate. Because I started off with no food and then, you know, and then we, you know, like, it leveled off. Nailed it with that comment earlier. Wait, but which one? I do remember you, Trinity. Yeah, it's a mod sausage fest. Yeah, what's up with that? It is. I don't miss drinking. I'm dark enough without it. Yeah. Mellow. I'm a mellow kind of fellow. Still haven't watched the trailer. Still haven't watched the trailer for which one? Shipwrecked. What if he'll look goofy while running in this one? Oh yeah, of course, yeah, absolutely. He ran away from us. Oh yeah, that was pretty messed up, wasn't it? And I don't know why all of a sudden I'm all phlegmy. Like I haven't been phlegmy or anything at all. Now all of a sudden I'm here doing the live stream. I'm all like, for some reason I was like, man, why all of a sudden am I all phlegmy? All right. Steam B. Oh man, bringing me the Speed Force. Oh, yeah. Cheap Trick is a good band. Yeah, it could be great, mid, or piss poor. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, that Flash movie. It could be any of the above. Nikki, thank you so much for being here. We said, well. You know what? I can't find that. Like for whatever reason, it won't let me use my video anymore. The well. Yeah. No consequences for what transpires, I guess. Yeah, I know. Yeah. William Moloch says James Gunn is going to kill Batman and Superman in their first movie and have Jimmy and Gordon take over for them. Yeah. Who knows, man? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'll go see whenever it's all gonna launch and everything. I'll go check it out. I'll give it the chance. But like, I don't have much. I'm not putting much faith or trust in fucking James Gunn. You know, and I'm not even a James Gunn hater. But if you ask anybody with a wrench here and the channel members and all these fucking people think that I'm just a James Gunn hater. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I read that in Grace's voice. Yeah, yeah. I'm vomiting in my mouth. Like, well. Yeah. Oh man, just watch the Flash trailer. It looks. Yeah, I'm telling you, it looks fucking fire, dude. Yeah, it looks fucking great. Yeah. All I know is that MODOK's cheek looked rough. Oh man. Man, you know what? I think them cheeks were enough. Were enough. He had enough cake to make Brie Larson jealous. He had enough cake to make. I was waiting for somebody to make one of those kind of jokes or something. You know what I mean? Like his little. That shit was fucking funny, dude. Okay. Would you say lackluster? What? What do you mean? What's lackluster? Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, the MCU might not have had a good weekend, but the revolution continued, and it had a great weekend. What revolution? What are you talking about? What's the revolution? Is there something I missed here? What's the revolution? The revolution. Is that a movie? La Revolution? I don't know. People seeking something, it's out there. People seeking something, it's out there. What are we talking about? I don't know. Sony carried Phase 4. I don't think they really did, though. I don't think they really did. Like, Far From Home, it's all right. I don't really have any major complaints about that, other than Spider-Boy. Like, just the overall complaint with the MCU Spider-Man movies is Spider-Boy, Peter Starker. That's really the biggest issue. That's really the biggest issue. It's Peter Starker. But other than that, like No Way Home, that movie just does not do it for me. That shit does not do it for me. And to me, like, The Eternals really does. Like, to me, like, The Eternals... And I know, like when I talk about these movies, I talk very specifically about these things. And I always talk about the Eternals film and the MCU movies. Because if you watch the Eternals, like, the Eternals is more like a film. Like, Chloe Zhao came in and did, like that shit's more like a film. Like, some more artsy kind of, like, film style bullshit. And then, in the end, they do the MCU shit, which kind of, like, getting shaken into it the way that it does, it just doesn't feel like, it just feels odd and weird. But the movie itself was fucking great. And I think Shang-Chi was good too. But we already went over all that bullshit. But yeah, I don't think so, man. I mean, they contributed a little bit. What's up, Perry Gaming? How are you doing, man? I hope all's going well with you. What are you talking? Fleming Skimpy? What? Oh man. Glad you asked, Trinity. The movie was in third place, starring Kelsey Grammer, based on a true story. Hippies in the late 60s were looking for answers, and they found it. The movie is Jesus Revolution. Oh, okay. All right. Dennis Hopper and Kelsey Grammer? Oh, no. Oh, well, sorry. My bad. You were saying hippies in the 60s. I don't know why I thought, yeah. Kelsey Grammer, all right. Huh. Let's check it out. You don't hate, you just crush a lot. What? What's that? Is that a song? What song is that? I don't know. But Gunn's wife is safe moving forward, so maybe he saved his marriage. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Haters gonna hate and ain'ters gonna ain't. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely true. They hate us because they ain't us. Because they anus. Anus. Not ain't us. Anus. Hey. Revolution is a religious... Oh, is a religious documentary? I don't know. I checked Peter Starker on my Trin Go card. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Tringo. Tringo. Okay. It's live action based on a true story. I highly recommend great 60s music. Okay. All right. Yeah. Felicity says Shang-Chi probably was the best of Phase 4. Needed more Wenwu and less Seaman Liu. Yeah. Yeah. No, you know what? It did need more Wenwu. It did need more Wenwu for sure. It did need more Wenwu. And I'll tell you, you know what? Before we even talk about any Ant-Man, why don't you guys pull up a little chair? Pull up a little chair and let Uncle Trinity have a little talk with you. All right. So you guys know that for a while I've had this theory, right? I've had this theory about the Eternals movie, about regarding the 10 rings, regarding those bangles that Ms. Marvel has in her TV show. And even, like, I question the stuff that Moon Knight is enshrouded in. You see his suit, it's got, like, the gold shit under there, and it looks very, Well, one of the things that I've been talking about here on the channel is the fact that it seems like, if you go back and watch the Eternals movie, that we see Cersei there at the beginning of the movie, when they arrive on Earth, she transmutates this dagger into a golden dagger, and
do you have an account on IMDb?
no.
Oh.
And so she transmutates this stone dagger into a golden dagger, and it's later there in the Museum of Natural History, I think it is, there in London at the school, at this place where she's actually working at. So it's like she's there kind of safeguarding it and keeping an eye on it. But the other thing is throughout the movie, other little things happen. They take us through time, through different time periods throughout the world. And one of the other things that they talk about is there's actually this other little scene when they're in Babylon, and we see that Makari is actually there, and she's talking to these guys, and she's looking for this thing called the Emerald Tablet. I've talked about the Emerald Tablet several times here on the channel, and the Emerald Tablet is this kind of cool, crazy thing, but really all it is like, it's just this tablet, almost like it's a stone with words written on it, almost like the 10 Commandments. But all it really is just these words, if you will, a philosophy. It is the basis of alchemy. Now, this thing, this Emerald Tablet, is, like, if you go read it, it's really like a philosophy, it seems like. But one of the things it's done is it's credited for the creation of the Philosopher's Stone. Now, the Philosopher's Stone is like this kind of liquid kind of stuff that it will transmutate base metals into gold or silver. It will cure human ailments up to and including possibly giving and granting immortality. I've talked about this several times here on the channel. And this was something that she was looking for. And by the end of the movie, we see she actually ends up with the Emerald Tablet. Now, if you think about it and think about everything we've had going on in Phase 4 of the MCU, and as it relates to everything going on in the previous 3 phases, it all really interconnects. If you think about what the Philosopher's Stone is, if you think about what alchemy is, that's really what we're talking about in the MCU all together. As we're actually talking about, it started off with the Infinity Stones that have been around, that were from the Big Bang, right? The stones, and they were scattered throughout the universe. And if you got all these 6 of these stones, you could pretty much do anything you wanted. You were omnipotent. But along the way, we also see what happened is some people were able to actually take and recreate and the power of some of these stones and actually just use them and harness the stones in different ways to do different things with them. And this is kind of really the basis of alchemy, and essentially trying to upgrade the human body to ascend, to be better, right? To create superhumans, to have the best weapons, things like vibranium, to be able to create gateways across the city, across the United States, across the world, across the universe, interdimensional travel. These are the basis of a lot of things that all essentially come down to alchemy. Is a lot of these things trying to upgrade the human body, also trying to find ways to make things easier, better, so where we can go and do things quicker and just all of that bullshit, right? Isn't that what it's all about? And so we see all that, and a lot of that came through if you go watch the Eternals movie with regards to things like that. Now, I have some other theories regarding this thing in particular when it comes to this transmutation of these metals, when it comes to either the Emerald Tablet or exactly what we've seen Cersei do in the Eternals movie. Because in the Eternals movie there, we seen at the very end, not only did she transmutate different things throughout the movie, but we seen there at the very end where she transmutated Tiamat into I don't know. I don't even know what it looked, because to me, when I watch the movie, it looks like she just turned it into a big old iceberg. But essentially, it was a celestial that she transmutated into something. And it's been rumored that this Tiamat, it's going to end up being an island that is going to be somewhat sought after, and is supposedly going to be the basis of something called adamantium. It's somehow going to be interconnected or interrelated to that Tiamat. It will be there on this island. Now, that's very, very interesting, if you ask me. Is that not pretty interesting? That this could be. It was rumored that it could be Geonosia, the island of the mutants and all that. But like, I don't know about all of that. But the thing is here's the thing. They've got this island that was a celestial that we've seen Cersei transmutate into whatever the hell it is now. Supposedly, the adamantium is going to come out of this island. It is going to be connected to that, which is essentially connected to Cersei, which is saying that what she did by transmutating that dagger, transmutating that celestial, all has to do with these same things that have to do exactly with the Emerald Tablet, the transmutation of base metals into something, basically upgrading these metals into something more. Okay? And my theory was, and it was even for a while, even before this whole Tiamat Island thing came out, my theory was that somehow the adamantium would be linked to Cersei and the Eternals movie, and it turns out that it is. Now, the other thing, I've got this new theory that I've kind of been working on that I want to talk about. I'll give you guys a little taste of what it is here, and it has to do with the mutants, yes, but specifically Wolverine, especially if they are getting adamantium out of this island, this Tiamat Island, if you will. The thing that's interesting about that is, what do we know? What's the biggest thing about Wolverine in the comic books, right? What did he have? What was his mutant ability? He had mutant healing powers, right? He had mutant healing powers. That was his power, right? Like, it wasn't being a badass. It wasn't being a midget. right? He had mutant healing powers. And in the past, that's why we know he was able to withstand basically the whole adamantium process, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure if that was part from the comics too. But, like, to be able to withstand the pain and everything of getting all that bonded to his skeleton, right? Now, the thing is he did have the mutant healing abilities, but if all of my theories are right regarding Cersei, regarding the Philosopher's Stone as it is related to the Emerald Tablet, and how it is going to be related to that Tiamat Island and the mutants in the MCU, I just want to lay this theory out there right now for Wolverine in the MCU. I think that Wolverine will have his mutant healing power that is just that, where he can heal. I think the fact that how he's not going to age and a lot of his other attributes are actually going to come from the adamantium itself. They're not just bonding metal to his bones. I think that metal is going to keep him from aging. It's going to make him age much slower. I think it's going to enhance probably his senses and make him even stronger, obviously. I think that's one of the things it's going to do. It's going to give him basically more superhuman powers to go along with his mutant healing. Now, the reason I think that is from everything that we've seen, according to, if you watch the Eternals and you consider everything that's leading up to that, even if I was thinking this before they even fucking revealed about the Tiamat Island thing, but I think that even with that, the adamantium itself is what's going to keep him from aging so much. It's going to be what's making him live so long. And I think it's going to give him more of those kind of, like I said, those more superhuman powers, where he's more badass, where he's more primal and just shit like that. Because Wolverine and his instincts and all that shit, like, he's a fast as fuck dude, man. He's not the kind of like person that you fuck with, right? Like, I'm not saying he's like fucking I'm not saying like he's like fucking Quicksilver fast, but he's fast as fuck, and his basically his natural and animal instincts are going to keep him faster than other people. But I think that's kind of what it's going to do, is basically essentially like what the purple heart-shaped herb does for Black Panther, the mantle, and what essentially what Erskine's formula, the super soldier serum, did for Captain America, what the rumored Sentry serum is going to do for the Sentry. I think this adamantium is actually going to give Wolverine more of his powers than just the mutant healing ability. And one of the reasons I do feel that way too is if you look at the movie Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, if you take a look at exactly what Wenwu did with those 10 rings when he found them, what did they do? They made him live a longer life. He stayed young for 1,000 years. He essentially stopped aging. All just from the power of having these 10 rings. And I think that's obviously something that is apparent in what the Philosopher's Stone does, but transmutating base metals and granting a person up to like basically healing one and granting one up to immortality, right? So it's just part of the things that this Philosopher's Stone already does. So if you had this magical metal, this adamantium, and you took it and imbued it onto somebody's bones, just like those rings did for Wenwu, That's it right there. Because I think the powers that this is going to be the same thing, like what kept him young and gave him a lot of his powers. You've seen a lot of the stuff he was doing with those 10 rings. He was fast. He was a martial artist. He couldn't be beat, essentially. And I think a lot of that is, I think that's where Wolverine is going to get a lot of his powers from. I think he might be somebody that essentially originally probably may not have been somebody who was like the biggest badass or anything. It's probably just going to be maybe just your average guy that ended up had mutant healing powers. And was able to survive whatever process or whatnot that was able to bond this adamantium to his bones. But I think a majority of his powers are actually going to come from the adamantium itself. But I don't know. That's just if you ask me. But let's see what you guys are saying. We got Lucas Texvenger in the building. You made it. Yes. Report I do not like alchemy for granite either. What are we talking about? The stones, the rolling stones, the kidney stones? What? Chronicles the Universe, Beatles. Yeah. Is Emerald Tablet is how I watch all my shows. Moon Knight had so much potential. It was wasted. Yeah, it was. You know what, Felicity? I guarantee you, look, and I could be wrong, but I guarantee if they just showed us those fight scenes, the movie would have been... If they had just showed every single one of those fight scenes, we would have loved it. We would have ate that shit up. Simple. How hard would that have been? Show us those goddamn fight scenes. Done. We'd have been happy. Emerald Tablet Theory stolen by New Rock Turd. What are you talking about? Did they steal my Emerald Tablet Theory? Did they steal my Emerald Tablet Theory? Did they? Motherfuckers. Okay. So I'm more interested in your discussion of what happened in the Eternals than I was in the movie. How can Feige make this accessible for the general audience? People don't want to do that much homework. Yeah, you're right. Because like really what it is, like the Eternals thing, like going back into it when I started watching, I'm like, it's essentially going through history. Going through history, through human history. And I'm like, damn. And that's why when the whole Namor thing started to come out, I was like, I'm not surprised in the slightest bit. I wasn't surprised in the slightest bit with what they did with that when all of it came out after watching the Eternals. I was like, oh, it almost seemed obvious. But yeah, I mean, they definitely need to find ways to make it more accessible. And I think, I mean, I don't know. I'm not for sure how they could do that. I'm not sure how they could do that. Like for me, they got me just because I'm nerdy about this shit. I'm like, man, what is all this little shit going on in this movie? And I just like doing that, kind of thinking about theories and things based on these movies. And that's why I'm still into these movies. And I like to go watch these movies and all that stuff still. Is I like to see all the little things going on in these movies. Because like I notice a lot of shit that I don't see people talk about a lot of times. Or maybe their theories are just different from what mine are. But that's one of like to me, I don't know. Does anybody else have the any Emerald Tablet theories? Let me know. Oh, guys, in case you guys didn't know, I'm bald. But yeah, a lot of people don't want to do that much homework. Yeah. But you also don't want to beat them over the head with it either, though. You know what I mean? You don't want to make it too obvious. You want it to be something where they go back later and like, oh. Did y'all see New Rockstar's King explained when Eric talked about Ramatut having cybernetic limbs and torso in the end scene? No, I think I seen him say something about that. Yeah. I have to go back and watch it. At the official, you will be forever 29 in my heart. What did I miss something there? I wouldn't mind to stop aging, right? I know. Hey, or you could just get the seven Dragon Balls and do what Bulma did. Do what Bulma does. Yeah, do what Bulma does. 29 was a wild year for me for sure. Nice. Nikki says Namor sucked. Aquaman's Atlantis looked way better and fantastical. I don't know. I don't think either one of them really looked that good. Like, I like the look of Talakon. I mean, it looked all cool, but like the way they took you in through there and you're doing all that stuff, it's just like they tried to make it look mystical and everything, but it's like it was just like you're on a ride at Disney fucking World or Disneyland, and you're just going through this little ride, and that was it. Like, that was it. You know, just like a little quick trip through here. Through this fucking, like, why the fuck did they have that goddamn suit? What were the Atlanteans? They're not, I get, they still could be. But what were those people doing with the fucking scuba suit? What were they doing with the scuba suit? They fucking hate humans. Why do they got a goddamn scuba suit? What the fuck? What's with the scuba? I didn't understand that. I just didn't maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. The scuba suit, dude. Fucking scuba suit. What's with the scuba suit? What? Oh, they just plan on bringing humans back to their fucking world, like, you know, as prisoners every now and then. You're like, oh, hey. Instead of just killing a human that might get close to him, there's like, oh no, let's create a scuba suit. Let's go out of our way and create a scuba suit to bring him back here to our prison so we can be fucking humane about it. Oh man. Oh yeah. Sorry. But yeah, to me, I think they both looked like, meh, you know. Lucas Texvenger said, I'm turning 41 next month. Ugh. Oh man, dude. You know what, Lucas? Dude, you're almost getting up there with me, bro. You know what? Go to the doctor, get your blood tested, see if you need to get on some tests. I'm going to. Nikki says Namor is just a weak villain. You know what? Like, and in the movie, like, I think the actor, like, everything they did, like, you know, I knew they were gonna change it. They changed, you know, whatever. Could you at least make it fucking cool? And the thing is, like, I think the actor could have done just fine. I think that, like, just the writing and everything that went down, it just wasn't good. I think the actor could have done just fine. I think I think all that shit about it, he could have been just fine. I just think it was like just how the movie went down, the character, it wasn't his portrayal. Like I said, I think he done just fine, but like, I don't know, like, and I think a lot of it's the writing, because like I think he had like the right chops for some of it, but like at times I'm like, dude, you're trying to be tough, but like there's no reason to like be tough right here, and like just like some of the stuff, like I don't know, like I think a lot there was yeah. But yeah, we will cheers for you for sure. Yeah, we will. Raya, the Glimmering Harpy, thank you so much for being here. I seen you were on SSK K dot Sanctum earlier. I was there lurking for a little bit. I was there lurking for a little while. But thank you so much for being here, Raya. I hope you're doing well. Seen you've been going out and doing some trips. I've seen you were at that Super Mario Land. Looked like a good time. I know my kids are going to go to that. My kids are going to want to go to that one of these days. Yeah. We got Weed Richards 420 in the building. Yeah. Scuba Steve style. Scuba Steve. Was that the Scuba Steve? Am I thinking Dodgeball here? Thinking Dodgeball, right? Scuba Steve. They probably kidnap humans every now and then. I'm sure they get bored all the time. Maybe so. Maybe. Like, I don't know. I just seen that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what are these people doing with the goddamn scuba suit? What do they care? Well, hope you're doing well too, Rhea. I hope all's going well. Be sure to smash the like button. Yes, yes. Make sure to do that. Because I asked you guys to do that earlier. I think I did. I feel it would be easier to have outposts on the mainlands that they use for interrogation. It probably would be for them. For them. Then you ain't gotta go and create fucking suits for them. You ain't gotta try to bend over backwards for them. You ain't gotta try to do it. You ain't gotta try to do it. They deleted the bulge. I know. Look. If this motherfucker got a big dick and they gotta show, like, why you gotta show it? Like, why can't you let him show it off? He's Namor. He should have, right? He should have. I feel, oh, yeah, sorry, I just read that. It says, in May, I will be 60. Let's celebrate. All right. Oh, my Porter gonna be 60. Yeah. Lucas Texvenger says I'm scared for my next checkup. Look. You know what? When are you supposed to do that anyway? When are you supposed to do that? I'm probably getting close. I'm probably getting real close. But Lucas, I would say just relax, man. Just relax. Breathe. Yeah, that's it. Just relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Yeah. Enjoy it. Yeah. Just breathe in. Just relax. Just relax. Just relax. It's okay. Just relax. Breathe in. Deep breath. Deep breath. Dude, don't hold it in. And let it out. Okay. Ryan Unknown. Bam! I'm here. What's up, Ryan Unknown? Thank you so much for being here. Necessary part of it. Alas, yeah. I hope you're doing well, Ryan. We can do it online, Daniel. Wait, what are we talking about? What? We were talking about something like, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, a birthday. Okay, I see what you're talking. I thought you were talking. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Daniel Fish says, oh man, they could have used clips from Life Aquatic with Bill Murray to clip with Quantumania. Yeah, they should have. Namor was packing heat, but they threw ice on it. Right? Yeah, that's they should have let him pack, man. They should have you know what it is? It's the same thing they did to Black Widow in her movie. Remember how that suit was not very flattering? Let me tell you, it wasn't. And believe me, we all know that Scarlett Johansson is more flattering than that suit made her look. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah. Yeah. Adam Sandler, Big Daddy, Scuba Steve. Damn. I ain't watched Big Daddy in a while. Is that the one? No, that's not the one. I'm thinking, oh no, I'm thinking all of a sudden I was thinking of a Rob Schneider movie anyway. But yeah, I ain't seen Big Daddy in a while. I need to watch it. Maybe I need to make my kids watch it. Make them watch some of those ridiculous Adam Sandler movies from the 90s. Yeah. And it was in the water, right? They got the scuba suit from the beginning when they were looking for vibranium in the sea, I guess. Yeah, maybe so. But would humans have anything to let them go that deep? I don't know that they would. They deleted the bulge because the media will never give us Mexicans our fair due. Right. Yeah. They're scared of the chorizo. Yeah. I went there, and also Hank Azaria from Along Came Polly. What? Man, I ain't watched Along Came Polly in a while, and I own that one. We own that one. Yeah. This is an amazing idea. Life Aquatic is one of my favorite movies. Yeah, man, I haven't watched that one in a while. That, for me, yeah, I don't know, some of those, because that's a Wes Anderson one. Isn't that one of those Wes Anderson movies? Yeah, his movies are a little. I think that's the one, right? Isn't that the Wes Anderson movie? Yeah, his get a little, yeah. But SJ nerfed herself a long while back. Oh yeah. I hear you. Daniel says, I was thinking, what about Bob? Groundhog Day at first, but Life Aquatic fits better. Yeah. Big Daddy was good, but Billy Madison is the GOAT. Yeah. Billy Madison. Yeah. Then what was the other one? Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore was another good one. I don't know. I mean, Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore? I don't know, man. Nicky was when it all started to go downhill. Nicky. Wasn't that what it was? Yeah. The little Nicky. Little Nicky? Sorry, I was just like, I was thinking, because Nicky was here. Yeah, Little Nicky, yeah. That's when it started to go downhill, was Little Nicky. Even though they had that fire acoustic version of Everlong from Dave Grohl on there. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, yeah, it is. I thought it was. Yeah. Nicky's not, yeah. Like Nicky, yeah, Little Nicky. You know what I meant. I meant Little Nicky, But yeah, so anyway, getting back into some of that that talk about the Wolverine stuff and those 10 rings. I talked a little bit about those 10 rings, and kind of like the thing was like I've kind of been onto this thing, been kind of looking into some more theories for stuff going on, because we've seen what the 10 rings done in the Shang-Chi movie, right? We've seen kind of how they let Wen Wu live for years. They gave him these powers and things like that. And we also see how they work different when he had them than when Shang-Chi had them, right? Than when Wu used them. They lit up different colors, right? And we also know that I've been talking a little bit about those bangles in the Ms. Marvel show. And it's very interesting about those bangles too, because we've seen how they worked at the end of the show. But one of the things they did was they actually transported her from one dimension to the next. They actually even allowed her to time travel. And not only did they allow her to time travel, they actually allowed her to break the rules of the MCU time travel. The whole, you mean Back to the Future is bullshit, is not true. And that's what they did in the Ms. Marvel show with those bangles, because we seen where Ms. Marvel went back to her past and saved her grandmother there during the partition. And that was actually her past, because it was something that actually happened. But it was her affecting that past. And what they were doing there was referencing the grandfather theory. And the grandfather theory being that you can't go back into the past and kill your grandfather, because then you wouldn't exist. But that's exactly what they were doing there. Just like they did in Back to the Future, right? Same thing. And so that's what she actually did in that show. So that was one of my theories for a while, was, and it still is that even in like Ant-Man, what we've seen in Ant-Man, was that Kang, just the character, not in the Ant-Man movie specifically, but Kang himself, that character, is actually looking for a way to actually go back and change time like they did with those bangles. I think he's looking for the way to actually do that. Because if you watch the way the TVA works, the TVA is only able to go and cut out branches off of these timelines, right? Like when a variant goes through and does does something and causes a branch, they can go back there and trim that. They only have until, in the show Loki, it only until it reaches that red line. They only have until that point, right? They only have until that point to do that. And why would that need to? They wouldn't need to do that if they were able to actually go back and change time. So my one of my kind of long run theories is probably going to play out for a little while, but kind of like Thanos with the gems. I think the thing that Kang is ultimately looking for is a way to actually go back and change time, which maybe at some point he actually does, and that's why Kamala Khan is able to do it with the powers that she got. But maybe she just got the powers because it was a combination of different things. We've been talking a little bit about this this gold, these 10 rings, and how they gave Wenwu powers. Talking a little bit about the bangles and how they allow Kamala Khan to try to travel through time or space. Traveling through space is traveling through time, right? But the thing is, I think he's looking for that. Now, what are these 10 rings and these bangles powered by? That's the interesting thing. I think one of the things is obviously, I think that what we're talking about here in those 10 rings and in those bangles, I think, obviously we're talking about, I was talking earlier about the transmutation of like the Tiamat Island and everything, and how, like we're going to get vibranium, because I think we're going to get the adamantium out of that. I mean, like I said, I was talking about that a while back, then rumors started to come out about that, and, then I just told you guys earlier about my theory with Wolverine. But I think the combination of these different things, these different elements, is what's going to allow people to do different things. The rings reacted differently to Shang-Chi. And right here in this book right here, the art of Shang-Chi, I was sitting here, there's this little section that they have here where they're actually talking about these 10 rings. And they have some very interesting things to say about them. Okay? So we get in here where they're talking about the 10 rings. Right here. Okay? And it's interesting some of the things that they're saying in here about these 10 rings. I want to read this to you. The 10 rings were certainly an element from the comics that we felt were in need of a little bit of an update. Says Jonathan Schwartz. He says in the comics there are 10 rings, one on the fingers, and they all have different powers. One fires a flame ray, a freeze ray. I think one of them is a hypnosis ray. They wanted to go for something a little different, so they redesigned them into these classic Hungar iron rings like they use in martial arts training. So, it says right here, according to Director of Visual Development Andy Park, several team members contributed ideas for how the rings could be used defensively and offensively. And he says, I had the idea that the rings could climb up the arms, and they could become part of the wearer, empowering them with mystical powers. Says Park. In terms of what they look like, some designs were very intricate with dragons in there, and then eventually concept illustrator Jackson Zay landed on what the filmmakers liked, some kind of undefined symbology that hints at Chinese language. He says, after exploring ideas of individuality, the decision was made to have all 10 form a matching set. And Zay treated them as some kind of alien metal. That's the designer. Treated them as some kind of alien metal. That's weird. Perhaps a meteorite, this is a quote right here. Perhaps a meteorite landed on Earth and was fashioned into these rings. One of the challenges was to not make them look like vibranium. Interesting. Which mostly glows blue. So with the rings, we kept them black, with markings on them that are inspired by Chinese calligraphy. On the texture of the rings, I took Chinese words and jumbled them up into things that don't make any sense, but the strokes are reminiscent of Chinese calligraphy. The idea I had was that maybe an item like this inspired some of the writing that developed in Chinese culture. And you can see here in that same picture where they're showing the rings, they show the guy, this kind of guy, and they're showing them kind of becoming part of him and imbuing him with power, right? Well, you know, they kind of landed somewhere a little bit there in the middle. But very interesting that he says that about perhaps a meteorite landed on Earth and was fashioned into these rings. Now, then you flip to the next page here, and they've got a little bit more designs here that they have for a bunch of the rings, right? Some of the different designs, like this one right here with the little dragons and shit. That shit's pretty cool. Some pretty cool designs. You know, so they had some different designs for them. You know, had some right here that they had. I think those ones on the bottom are pretty cool too. But let's see. Okay, so here they were talking about kind of the people having a competition to see who could design the 10 rings the best. But here, right here, they go into a little more. Okay, they say right here of the 10 rings where they show a little bit more of a breakdown of them. See, they got the ones over there, and then look right here. Look right down here. Very interesting. Very interesting how those break down into here. Let's talk a little bit about this. We are not sure what the material the 10 rings are made out of, nor do we know their origin, other than that they are otherworldly and seem to be really old. Senior visual development artist Jana Shermer says, the idea was that the rings were extracted from this material and integrated into something more normal that we know today, like metal. So the thin ring of otherworldly material inside the metal is the part that actually contains the power. In these images, I explored how the outside material with the thin rings inside could look. I explored different lighting effects so when the rings are powered up, they start to glow. Now, that's the interesting thing, is what she says right here. We are not sure what material the 10 rings are made out of, nor do we know their origin, other than they are otherworldly and seem to be really old. The idea was that the rings were extracted from this material and integrated into something normal that we know today, like metal. Now, I think the like metal part, I think the rings themselves, and again, you see how they're broken up here. See how they're broken up here? Remember in Doctor Strange? Remember at the end of the Shang-Chi movie? Remember how they were in the Sanctum Sanctorum and they were examining them and they broke them down in the little thing that like their little hub thing that they were, however their fucking stupid technology works. But they were sitting there and they broke them down and they were doing the same thing. Now, here's my thing, is I think like they're showing us right here, I think the rings are probably made from the same type of transmutated metal, possibly adamantium, and then the rings inside that is the otherworldly material. I think those that you can see there that's got the glowy stuff there, the actual ring itself. And she's saying that the ring it goes in is metal. I think that's actually the adamantium or whatever the transmutated metal is, like Cersei would have made. But then these rings inside. Look at those rings. Look at those rings. Very interesting. I'm very interested to see what the Ms. Marvel art of is going to look like and what it's going to say about those bangles. Because one of the things, if you look at these 10 rings right here, and then you look at the bangles in the Ms. Marvel show, she actually had glowy stuff inside of hers too. And remember that it had one that was like similar to these. It was like kind of like blue. It had like a bluish kind of purplish tint. And then I think they also had green. And also remember how when she put it on, like it was smaller and then it extended out. And then it started to glow even more. Well, we can see there's this otherworldly material in there. And what I started to think of is I almost wonder if these rings are somehow possibly made of hard light. Now, this was something that I was kind of starting to think of, and then I remembered Kendall over at Normies to Nerds kind of talking a little bit about the hard light from the Ms. Marvel show, from even getting into the What If show, talking about hard light. And then I was looking at these rings in here, and I was thinking about what we seen in the Ms. Marvel show, what we seen in the What If show, these things that Kendall was pointing out to me, and also how we see some of the things they were talking about. Now, some of that is very interesting, and I started thinking about that is what if that is what it is the combination of these elements, this metal, like a adamantium, combined with this hard light that actually allows Shang-Chi to get the powers that he has and possibly open gateways to other dimensions, much like those bangles do, where we seen at the end of Ms. Marvel, where she had the one bangle, put it on, and all of a sudden it looked like she switched places with Carol Danvers. Makes me wonder, did Carol Danvers, I'd have to go back and watch that. Did Carol Danvers have a bangle on? I don't know. But regardless, remember in the Ms. Marvel show, they did say there was two of them. And the two of them combined is what we're going to take them back to their home world. Now, another interesting thing about that in the Ms. Marvel show was those clandestines that were there. Isn't it weird that just like Kang, they were exiled there? Anyway. But I do think that, like Kendall was pointing out, I do think there is definitely something to the hard light. I do think that this hard light is what separates the dimensions. We've seen that in the What If show, where Uatu was kind of back there, say like in the walls between the universes, and as him and Ultron started fighting, they were breaking through those walls of hard light as they went into the different dimensions. And I think that's one of the things that the 10 rings can possibly do, or at least the bangles can. But I think the 10 rings is where it's going to come down to, it's going to have some sort of different power than the bangles, where the bangles are able to open up that doorway. The 10 rings can probably do something else as far as that. By the time they'll combine those. Because the one thing is, and this is the other thing, when it comes to those 10 rings that we see here, and what we seen in the Shang-Chi movie, when they broke them down and they said that the ring was actually, they didn't know what the material was. And that's why I kind of feel like that material that the rings actually were made of was actually adamantium. And I actually think that the rings themselves, like we see in like the little glowy ring, while maybe hard light, but I think the thing is like, remember they said they were sending out a signal? I think that signal is exactly like the same thing that the quantum fucking satellite thing that Cassie made in the Ant-Man movie. I think it relates to the same thing, because that's kind of how they figured out the time travel was from this satellite, from a signal being sent out there. And I think obviously the 10 rings are sending a signal to somebody that they are have in fact been used, and we'll be calling somebody here. A lot of people think it's Galactus, but I don't think it's that. It very well could be, though. I could be wrong. But I do think that Kendall was definitely onto something about that hard light, separating the dimensions. If you go back and watch, there's all the proof there for that. But I also think that it is part of the key that is being harnessed and utilized within the 10 rings, and even the bangles themselves. And might possibly have to do with possibly the mutants coming up as well. But I don't know. That's if you ask me. Let me see what you guys are saying here in the chats. Dude, you had Defoe, Murray, Owen Wilson, Angelica Houston. Amazing cast. Oh, yeah. For Life Aquatic, yeah. Nikki says, I don't know, man. Just playing Hogwarts, minding my business. Nice. Oh, you're playing Hogwarts? I can't believe that you support. Nikki, I should have known. What do they call you? What do they call a female incel anyway? Ugh. Oh, that's funny. I've heard it's a good game though. Hogwarts, I've heard people loving it. I seen Adam over at Duda Review streaming it the other day. And I forgot Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. King had nothing to do with the 10 rings. Big bong spec. What do you mean? Had nothing to do. Oh, you think? Oh, somebody think he had something to do? I don't think Kang had anything to do with the 10 rings. Nah. I saw someone said on Twitter that we are in the timeline where Marty actually banged his mom. That's funny. That's funny. Oh man, we might be in that timeline. That's true. Enjoy it for me. I won't be doing that. Oh, no Hogwarts for Felicity, huh? Joey Ebbs, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Joey. Thank you for being here. Reed Richards says, Marvel Wiki says an alien spacecraft crashed in China is part of their region. An alien spacecraft crashed in China. It's part of their region. What are you talking about? Like who? Where? What? What alien spacecraft? Star Wars MCU-OG is back. What's up, Star Wars MCU-OG? Rogue gotta be coming to take Carol's powers. That might change my mind about the MCU. Yeah, I really need to get a video up about that, man. Because I've got a huge theory, like this huge thing that I think could set off with Rogue would really help the Captain Marvel stuff and other things beyond that. That's my idea. Yeah. Kamala bracelets are the nega bands connecting to Marvel. Absolutely. Well, yeah. Well, not in this universe. I'm not sure if you know this, Weed Richards, but in this universe, Marvel is a woman. They really screwed the pooch on that one. But ooh. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think they're definitely at least, yeah, the nega bands or the quantum bands for sure. Which I think, God, which one was it? Was it the nega bands that were created from the Kree and the quantum bands were created from the Celestials? I think that's how it was. Because I went through and I looked at it one day. Because I honestly haven't read the books that explain any of that stuff that a lot of that shit went down in. I wikied that shit. But I'm pretty sure, I think it said that the difference is, like, they pretty much do the same thing. But one of them, and I think they said that it was even retconned, though. I think they said it was retconned that the Kree ones were actually based off of the Celestial model. But I believe the Kree ones actually showed up first, like in the comics before the Celestial quantum bands did. The nega bands existed before that. Or maybe I got the quantum and the nega bands mixed up like backwards there, but like, yeah, I could be wrong though. I'll fucking tell you, like, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't read it. I didn't read it myself. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's definitely that connection to the Kree. Although the 10 rings, as opposed to the Bengals, the 10 rings, remember Carol said when they were examining him, she didn't know what the fuck that metal was. But that's the thing. Here's the thing, is in the Shang-Chi movie, they were talking about the material, the metal in which it is made of. They said it's not vibranium. They said it's not this, it's not that. And they were talking about an actual metal. Where we see in this book, there's like an actual crystal inside of the metal. Right? So I think they were examining the metal, not the actual crystal. Maybe they were examining both. But maybe it was the crystal sending out the signal and the metal that was the thing they were talking about. And I think the metal could have been the adamantium, and then the ring on the inside could have been the other thing. And maybe, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. Cassie bypassed the compressor. Woo! Yeah, that's all she did. I know what you're doing there. I know what you're doing there, Felicity. Oh, I'm all gin. Yeah. And tonic? Nikki says, I got 50 hours on this thing. 50 hours of bigotry. Great game. Yeah. Yeah. 10 Rings origin. What? What are you talking about? Oh, you mean in the oh, okay. I see. Says alien spacecraft craft in China. Crash in China and part of. Okay, I see what you're saying, Reed Richards. I got you. All right. Yeah, I was saying I haven't read up on those either. I don't like. I honestly like. I'm not gonna lie and act like I fucking know about them. Like any of the shit I know about, like fucking Wikipedia, that shit. You know. And like when I go to Wikipedia shit like that, it's always with the intention that I'm gonna read the fucking comic books that refer to a lot of that stuff, and I usually do go read them. It was just something I looked up and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to go back and read this at some point. But yeah, all right, I'll have to go check that out. End credits for the Marvels. What? End credits scene for the Marvels? Oh, bypass the. If that's the end credit, I will pay full movie price to watch the entire movie to see it. I'll be obligated to give it a 10 out of 10. Oh wait. Oh, you mean yeah for Rogue? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Aaron from Strange Marvel Theories, my man, says, Trinity, you beautiful son of a bitch. What up? What is up with you, man? Missed you too as well. Thank you so much for being here, Aaron. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. Let's ask Stan Lee. Yes, right? Let's ask. Maybe we get a Ouija board. We can get a Ouija board and ask Stan Lee. Been gearing up for some Loki season 2. Yeah, and Kang Theory videos. Yeah, you know what? I'm waiting for Kang, Loki season 2. I'm very interested to see where that's gonna go after what we've got in Quantumania. Yeah, interested to see. Yeah. But anyway, other than that, I mean, it looks like I haven't really talked much about Quantumania. Like I said, I've got my review. I still want to drop talking a lot about talking more about the movie, and I think, oh man, oh come on, there we go. There we go. Quantumania, man. I think it's funny seeing all the talk about it. And it's so funny, like, it's just the same thing with every single one of these movies that comes out. Everybody's always got their thing to say about it. People are going to love it. People are going to hate it. There's going to be people in between. But every single time it always sparks these whole discussions about everybody it's okay for you to like whatever you like. Just because some other son of a bitch don't like it doesn't mean that you can't like it. It doesn't mean that you have to call that guy a son of a bitch just because he don't like it. But it seems like we go through this every goddamn time a fucking movie comes out where there's like some sort of discourse. Now, I'll tell you, Ant-Man, I don't think is one of those ones that's been super divisive as far as people being outraged one way or the other about it. But I think it's certainly one that's getting a lot of people talking, and I would say kind of in these, I would say debates. I wouldn't say people fighting, but about what's good and what's not. You know, and people start to get into these discussions like, it's okay for you to like whatever you want to like and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, it's so funny because I even seen like this post the other day where somebody posted exactly like, you know, it feels weird to have to need to say this, but it's okay for you to like what you like and some, you know, going all this and that. Like, well, the reason it feels weird to need to say it is because you don't need to fucking say it. Everybody out there knows that they can like what they want to like, and everybody's allowed to have their own opinion and all that bullshit. Everybody, but you know what? The thing is, nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, and that's the thing is like, where everything is, you're allowed to have your own opinion, and the thing is, like, at some point, we all want to hear others' opinions on some of these things and hear maybe why somebody likes it, why they don't like it. But then when it comes down to it, people start debating and talking about it. Like, the thing is, like, it ultimately comes down to nobody really gives a fuck, right? I don't know. It just cracks me up. It cracks me up that these discussions have to be had every single time that a movie comes out. Like some fucking Marvel movie is the goddamn end of the world, you know? Like some fucking Marvel movie decides fucking who you voted for. It decides whether you fucking support Ukraine or Ukraine or not. It's just so funny when it comes down to a lot of these things that, you know, like, you know, I talk about that kind of shit all the time. Like, dude, if you like it, enjoy it. I'll tell you, like, for me, when it comes to this Ant-Man movie, I thought the movie was pretty good. I mean, it's not great. I couldn't try to defend this movie in any sort of way because, like it's a hot mess. But for me, coming out of the movie, it felt like a step in the right direction. Well, I mean, you know, I can't even say that. It didn't feel like a step in the right direction. It just felt like a step in a direction other than fucking the direction I don't want them to go. It felt like they weren't stepping backwards. It felt like they took a step. Right? And it felt like they took a step without them upsetting me. And, you know, I walked out of the movie with a smile on my face, and I enjoyed it. And I won't say that makes it a good movie and that it's going to make the MCU come back. You know, the MCU is back, baby. Not at all. Not at all. But I think it's definitely one of those movies where I can watch and be like, oh, yeah, I get why why people don't like this movie. I get the nitpicks people have. I can't even say they're nitpicks, but I can see all the shit people don't like about this movie. I also understand, this is one I understand a lot of the stuff that people like about the movie. There's plenty of things, there's several things I like about the movie. There's plenty of issues that I have with the Ant-Man movie that I'll talk a little bit more about in my review. But overall, for me, it wasn't one that kind of ruined my experience. I don't think it was a bad thing. I just think it was, as much as I liked it, I know for most people, it's still not what they were expecting. For me, as I said, it's a step not in the wrong direction. Maybe not in the right direction. It was at least a step. It was a step forward. I can't say there was progress made, but there was a step forward. After watching this, I would feel good, maybe, about going to see the next MCU project at the movie theater. It's not like when I went to Love and Thunder and I left and I'm like, I can't go see the next one. Because this was a bunch of bullshit. But some people feel like it was. And that's okay. And that's okay. Okay. I hope my theory that we see a Loki Hulk in Loki season 2 happens. It could, man. It might. It very well could. Because your Loki theory, it's a good one. It's totally okay to question someone's taste if they like or dislike something. It's not okay to judge what kind of person they are, though. That's not cool. Yeah. Certainly. Yeah, certainly people's tastes. For sure. Because some people like James Gunn's shit. Oh, I'll like or dislike a movie or television show, and that's none of my business. In other words, my opinion is my opinion, not gospel truth. Yeah, absolutely. Jedi Mike says, observe another's reading level. Accept more or less dense vocab. Yes. Absolutely. Oh, man. Reading level. Oh, man. People are stupid. People really need to learn how to read, man. Like, I was thinking about making a video, but, like, I'll probably make a video for our channel members talking about some dumb motherfuckers, man. Like, oh, goddamn, dude. Like, oh, my God. Like, I got like, these people, like, I didn't even get into it, but it's just like these people being fucking stupid the other day, man. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, people are dumb. Anyway, in Soviet Russia, opinion forks you. What? What? Felicity says, did your kids like Quantumania? They did. Actually, they did like it. When I saw it in the theater, there were kids that seemed to enjoy it. Maybe I've aged out of the MCU. You know what? And that could be. And maybe it's not that you've aged out, but maybe they've aged it down. You know? And I don't think they had to age it down. Because how it was originally was great. It was just fine. They didn't have to age it down. But I do very well think you're onto something there in the fact that like they aged it down. I do think that. And I think where that really became apparent was Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Like that was a fucking blaring goddamn signals of that shit. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't think you've aged out. I think they've aged down. Yeah. That's a video. That's a video topic. Is have I aged out of the MCU? Or have they aged it down? Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. And because of positive and negative opinion, now we have a multiverse. We will have versions of characters we will love and versions we will hate. Darren Cross shouldn't have become MODOK. You know what? I didn't mind the Darren Cross thing. I gotta save it for the review. Like, I didn't mind it though. I thought Darren Cross was just fine. MODOK's cheeks 10 out of 10. Oh man, that's funny. You like them MODOK cheeks, huh? That's funny, dude. That's funny. I know, like, Josh over the Den of Nerds, that shit triggered that motherfucker, dude. And, like, to me, like, I didn't think it was anything. I was like, nah, whatever. I didn't really think nothing of it, but, like, I seen this motherfucker fucking triggered over that shit, and that shit just made me laugh. That shit just made me laugh. I'm like, I didn't really think it. Like, I get it, but, like, yeah, fucking MODOK. Oh, man. An army of Lokis versus an army of Kangs, whether Loki gathers his variants or Loki learns to replicate himself. What about that? Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about Ant-Man because I got my review and I want to drop it. Leslie Jones is MODOK. Yes. Yeah. And imagine those cheeks. Damn. But and before I'm gonna wrap up here pretty soon, and some of the other things, I've kind of been away for a little while, guys. I went in, I had to go at the first of February. I went in for a surgery. I had to have a surgery. A couple of years ago, I ended up I had this lump on my boobie, on my right chesticle. I had a little lump, and I went into the doctor and had it checked out. And the doctor, he said it wasn't anything serious. He said it was just a cyst, and they just have to go take and cut it out, and it'd be all good. And but I like he set me an appointment. I never went and had it taken out. And hindsight 2020, I should have back in them days. But so I never went and got it. And then finally in December, I went and got went into the doctor and got the letter so I could finally get the thing cut out. So I had to go get that cut out. And then I wasn't able to really work out or do anything for like 2 weeks. Like I was going to work, but I couldn't like work out or anything. So I was off of my workouts and everything for like 2 weeks just waiting for the the skin to heal and everything because it got stitches and like all the shit was like it was all like Dr. Popper like crazy shit. Like it was pretty crazy. It was pretty gross. Yeah. 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 I love Loki, but Kang gonna Kang. Yeah, absolutely. I want to clip some MODOK's bitty legs with a scene from Deadpool 2. Right? Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah, that. Do it. Do it. Do that shit. But anyway, guys, that's really all I have for today. For tonight. Like I said, I've got to drop. I've got some reviews that I really want to drop. Talking about Wakanda Forever. I finally got a chance to watch that. Need to do a review talking about Quantumania and sharing my thoughts on that. The only reason I didn't do that is I got a review initially shot, and then I was kind of like, man, like I really need to go see it again because some of the things I was thinking back on, I'm thinking like maybe it wasn't, maybe it's just me and maybe it was just that first viewing experience. A couple of things I need to go back and check out though, that I wanted to talk about. But other than that, the doctor show you what the cyst looked like. Yeah, I seen it. I did see it. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, thank you to all the channel members. Thank you to all the Myrtle Maniacs. We will be doing a giveaway next week for that La Muerta Primeval. But you all have a very good day. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to have some comic reviews. And I actually got a couple of other things, videos that I wanted to do as well. But you all have a very good day. Have a great rest of your weekend. And we'll see you in the next video or live stream. Later.